Hello and welcome back to our Retire Early lifestyle, at home or abroad. The information contained in this video is a perfect example and the foundations of why we call the live abroad dream a hoax. Buying the American lifestyle versus buying the local pricing lifestyle. Most people that move abroad do it with a consumer mindset. They are essentially buying a lifestyle. It's the American lifestyle abroad. But there are certain social taboos that you don't want to accidentally cross when you live in a foreign country. These things get people killed in foreign countries. The thing is, these things are normal or acceptable, or should we say cultural, in our own country of North America. So let's talk about these. Number one, never talk about money or personal finances with anyone in a foreign country. Locals have an entirely different perception of what wealthy actually means. Their wealthy is not your wealthy. Number two, never speak loudly in English around the locals, especially on buses and in restaurants. Some people may find this to be strange, but it is really sort of annoying and disrespectful to those around you and also targets you as a foreigner with money. We were riding a bus in Ecuador with some Americans we were helping find a rental for, and they were speaking English very loudly amongst each other on a really crowded bus. The bus was so crowded we had to stand up. And guess what? The man had his wallet stolen and didn't even know it happened. Only after we got off the bus did he realize his wallet got stolen. Number three, never say how cheap everything is. I used to do this all the time. I'd say, oh my goodness, I can't believe these homemade cream eclairs are only 25 cents. We need to come here every day, hon. Guess what happened? They raised the price of the eclairs to 55 cents the next time we went in there. That's over 100% in just one go. And this was not a one-off thing. It happened all the time. I learned to keep my mouth shut. Bottom line, the vendors raise their prices for the foreigners, and the bad apples perceive you as wealthy, and they look at your camera and think, this guy has money. I want that camera. He can buy a new one. Number four, wearing bright colors, Panama hats, flowery Hawaiian shirts, name brand clothing and purses, flashy jewelry and watches, even if they're fakes, are all no-nos anywhere abroad. People think it won't happen to me, but it happens all the time. Italy and Spain are seeing street crime off the charts right now, and the thievery is all against the foreigners, Brits and Americans. We have to dress like the locals. I know it seems strange to go abroad and not be able to wear your jewelry or Panama hats. By the way, no locals in Panama or Ecuador wear Panama hats, at least not that we've seen. And the guy or gal wearing the flashy jewelry with the Panama hat is a double whammy. It says, look at me, follow me home, I have more jewelry there. Oh, I think I'll follow you home, says the thief. Frank and I used to make videos with our cheap little point-and-shoot camera, and we would ask our viewers, can you spot the gringos in the videos? It was so funny. Of course they can. They stand out like a sore thumb. Panama hats, watches, open backpacks, etc., etc. I found this comment to be really interesting from one of our viewers, and I'm going to show it to you because this is the attitude we have to minimize that potential target risk. I stopped going to Paris 10 years ago. A petite Chinese gal wearing Valentino high heels and a Chanel purse was in front of me at the metro. We were at a kiosk buying tickets, and an extremely well-built guy grabbed her purse and bolted up the metro steps. If I were her, I would have worn a rumpled trench coat with inside zipped pockets and old shoes with no jewelry. So yes, that's the attitude to have. I'm not sure about wearing the rumpled up trench coat, but you certainly don't want to be carrying a Chanel purse and wearing high heels. We would say, in this case, not only would you be making yourself a target for that expensive purse, but for a sexual assault. Number five, never accept gringo prices. Now, there's a very good reason why we don't want to accept the first prices quoted in a foreign country. When a local shoots off a price to you, they are essentially testing you. They want to know if you know what the real price is. And if you just accept the price without negotiation, you just gave off that you're a newbie and can be taken advantage of in other ways. Now you've become a potential target, okay? The gringo tax is a test of your social awareness, and you're going to be tested a lot by the locals when buying things that have no prices on them. They will even test you when you're not buying anything. The solution is to either negotiate or walk away. We used to do both. If they wouldn't go to a satisfying price, we'd just smile and walk off. The bottom line is, if you pay the overinflated foreigner price, you've just marked yourself as an easy target, which might put you in a compromising position later on down the road. And it also sets a precedent for the new gringo price for when the next gullible foreigner shows up. The American lifestyle in these countries abroad is the biggest expense of your cost of living. Most expats that move abroad are not that stealthy when it comes to their money. For instance, the home we choose needs to be something we can show off to family and friends back home. Look at these views from my $1,500 European apartment. I was spending twice that much in Florida, and it didn't even have views. We move abroad essentially to have this lavish lifestyle that we were promised in all of the promotions. This means we're going to live it up, spending 2 to 3 times as much for rent than the local folks. We know expats do this because we had many conversations with fellow Americans. They have 2 demands. One was a first-floor master suite, essentially no stairs to climb, and the second demand was the views. They needed the views. They always wanted to go up higher in price to receive the luxury they could show off back home. Views equate to luxury for people, but we don't necessarily agree with that, as we've seen shacks with the best views in town in Ecuador and other places. They'd say to us, if this nice place is only $250, what can I get for $500? Probably a mansion, right? But we realized something early on, and it was that we bloggers and vloggers, and we were doing it too in the very early days, create this illusion on YouTube of some sort of grandiose lifestyle for people when they go abroad. We have created this move abroad dream movement because it's what sells. Dreams sell. But something changed right before our eyes. We noticed 8 out of 10 expats were leaving the paradise dream that they so much sought out to attain. Some folks didn't last 6 months. The buying of a lifestyle in a foreign country was not at all what it was cracked up to be. And that's when we stopped peddling the illusion. In fact, we stopped promoting countries altogether. Because we lived in Ecuador, we still would make videos of our daily life in Ecuador happenings, but we stopped hyping up the location. Instead, we made videos of everyone leaving. We also realized that this is a dream they're selling, and we didn't want any part of an illusion. We realized that comparing a lower economy country to a high economy country was the pedestal for the illusion, which is the root of the problem of expat disappointments. It is an unfair assessment to compare disproportionately the way we do when we move to a lower cost country. For an example, Americans think paying $900 for a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment is a good price in Mexico or Colombia, but the locals think paying that amount is way too much since they pay less than half that amount for a 3-bedroom family home. Secluding ourselves in opulent surroundings where all the expats reside actually pins us as wealthy targets. There's no wondering why locals look at Americans as ATMs, right? We do it to ourselves. If we want to be stealthy, Instead of appearing wealthy, we could be less demanding of our living quarters, not needing to have those perfect ocean views and all those bedrooms and all the opulence. And if we quit saying really loud in English when we're shopping in the Mercado how cheap everything is, we're behaving like the locals, and that's a good thing. They say when in Rome, do like the Romans. Well, case in point. We told a real estate agent we were looking for a nice, clean, comfortable rental for our friends that were moving to Cuenca, Ecuador. And because we were North Americans, he proceeded to show us the more expensive rentals in the expat neighborhood. We immediately told him, no, we live here in Ecuador. We're not tourists. We don't need to live where all the expats live. We just want a clean, nice 3-bedroom home in a good neighborhood at the local price range. We're residents and live here full time, we said to him in Spanish. And he said, oh, okay, and showed us homes in the local prices. He didn't put up a debate or anything. So you see how that works? Instead of spending 2 to 3 times more than the locals, we're staying within the local pricing structure and everyone wins. Staying within the local pricing does not raise rents as quickly as just showing up and comparing to back home prices, and it also lowers our wealth profile because it shows everyone that we don't think we're better than them by needing to be secluded in an elite expat neighborhood. We speak Spanish. Just for the record, we have never lived in an expat enclave the whole entire 13 years that we lived abroad. We don't need it and didn't want it. You have to understand that the local attitude of rich foreigner is already there before you even get off the plane. Funny thing is, we tend to prove this assumption as truth to the locals in everything we do. We should really stop wondering why they look at us as ATMs, okay? Bottom line, how we live and what we do when we move abroad marks us as a target from the get-go. We're not saying you have to move abroad and live exactly like the locals either, but it wouldn't hurt. So let's talk about another really good comment we got the other day. I'm going to call this one the silent observer. We love to receive comments from people on the ground in some of these countries. Their experiences are interesting and informative, and some of their behaviors on how they protect themselves are worth sharing in this video today. I thought this was great for keeping a low profile. I'm in San Jose, Costa Rica right now, and the other day a white guy came up to me begging for cash. He started his spiel with, "Hey, I'm not going to rob you or anything." Who would start their sentence that way other than a thief playing their hand? Anywho, he claimed that he was from LA and his English was perfect. However, he was really filthy, dirty, and unkempt. He looked like a druggie and claimed he needed the money for food. I totally ignored him and pretended like I didn't know English, and that's when he switched to Spanish. And I pretended like I didn't know that one either. Ha ha. Sometimes when you refuse to give money, they will become aggressive. But maybe pretending like you don't understand them is a safer solution to this problem, where the foreigners are often targeted for providing handouts to the less fortunate. Sometimes the beggar can be intimidating too. In such cases, it may be best to give in and hand them a coin, just to get them off your back. You would have to make that judgment on a case-by-case basis though. So as you can see, sometimes it is the small things that get us into trouble when we go abroad. If expats were just a little bit more stealthy, we believe there would be way less crime in these tourist cities. The little things are not that inconsequential after all. Maybe these are bigger aspects of moving abroad that we should take more notice of and consideration in for our own security and safety. People think all they gotta do is pack a bag and they're going to go have this grand lifestyle somewhere, but it isn't like that when you move abroad. It doesn't have to be a terrible experience either. That's why we talk about all of these important issues with anyone who has the ears to listen. It's important that we respect the cultures that we move to and that we understand that what is acceptable and cultural in our own country is not how it is in another country, whether it's Latin America, Asia, or Europe. That's why it's called a foreign country, because it is foreign to you. So then how can just packing a bag and waltzing into town going to work out? It's a hoax. Do you see what we're saying here? Thanks for watching our videos. Take care and bye-bye.